Yeah, you officially moved past all of us.
Well, yeah. Hopefully that would happen. No, but I'm, of course, excited about the win. You know, tonight we had some first game stuff that happens, first game jitters and stuff, and we had some people who have been phenomenal in practice. You know, one guy I'm really heartbroken for is Dante Allen. You know what I mean? He had a great preseason, and he's a freshman. I gotta give him a stage. He's just a freshman, and this was his first college game. But he's somebody who's going to be a big part of what we do. You know, and then another one I thought that really played well for us was Ernest. I'm yelling at him all game to get a rebound, and then I look up and he's got 14. You know, we had 5 guys in double figures, which is big. We turned the ball over a little too much. We shared it about right, but you know, for us, we've been playing and practicing so well. This one, just for our identity and our standard. We were almost there. We weren't there, but it was the first game, so I give them the benefit of the doubt.
Jay, what was the guys revealed that a special visitor to the locker room presented you with a game ball?
Yeah.
What was that moment like?
It was big, you know, because one, I've never seen my wife that fired up, so it was exciting to see her like that, and just you know, she's been the biggest part of my journey with this stuff. So just sharing this moment with me means the world. She is part of the reason I'm planting this seat in my head and why I'm sitting in this seat. Is because of her and everything she sacrificed for me. So without her, I wouldn't be able to sit here and be here.
Just for the record, the guys did say that they contemplated some water.
Yeah.
And that it is coming at some point. Just so
Yeah. Hopefully that'll come after the championship.
You know, obviously you can only learn so much about your team over the course of practices and scrimmages and stuff. So I guess over the course of 40 minutes, you know, what did you feel like you learned about your team tonight?
We have good resilience. And the one thing that carried over was our rebound and our physicality and our ability to get to the free throw line. We've done that in our scrimmages and carried over in this game. Now this was the first time we dealt with some type of adversity, with them coming out in the 1-3-1 in zone, and haven't played 1-3-1 zone in 3 years. I've watched almost every game the last 3 years preparing for this one. And so just being able to adjust on the fly and figure out how we need to attack it and what we need to do, and then just staying consistent and staying poised was kind of the parts that I took away from the game.
Is 3 years worth of film a normal preparation, or is
No,
that just...
no. It's the first game. You're trying to, you know, you can't sleep, so you're trying to figure out stuff to watch and get there. And then Coach Mincy's one of my best friends in coaching. A lot of people don't know that, but you know, we kind of grew up together as assistants. And so, you know, after the first 2 possessions, I look over there and he's smiling. I'm like, this guy is unbelievable. He's out of 1-3-1 zone, but you know, he's got a great team. They're going to do a good job moving forward. He does a great job.
He came in and talked about the relationship that you guys have and the you know, how you greeted him last night when they came in to shoot and all that. Just the hug you guys had. That was not a thank you for beating me by 17 hug. That was a guy who was genuinely happy.
Yeah, no, and we've had long conversations before this. Like we said, we're good friends. We've discussed a lot of things. Moving forward, we haven't really talked in the last 2 weeks, but then he called me last night when he got in town, and I waited around for him when they showed up just to say hello. But he's someone, like I said, I consider a great friend in this industry. So that hug was like just a friendly hug, and him telling how excited he is and how happy he is for me to get my first win and stuff.
Is this, I mean, obviously, not every game will go like this, but to have 5 guys in doubles, to have, I think it was 6 or 7 guys taking at least 5 or 6 shots, nobody more than 10.
Yep.
That's pretty, that's going to be an approach I think you're going to like. If you can find a lot of nights like that, that's probably a pretty good recipe.
Yeah, it is, and I felt we were bad tonight, to be honest with you. You know, this wasn't even a good night for us. And a little bit was the zone, and them just throwing us off a little bit, and then the first game jitters.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of first game jitters, and our flow and our pace and our just continuity wasn't there like it should be. But this is what our stat sheet should look like. You know, I think we can end up with maybe 6 in double figures, but Malik, I feel just moving forward, will be our leading scorer. And part of that is just the position he's in at that 4, and being a bigger 4, and just the advantage and the mismatches he'll have on a daily basis. We gotta get him to rebound some more. He can't be at that position and only get 2 rebounds. But then, you know, for Trey and True to figure stuff out on the fly was important as well. And then Sheldon, barely played, it felt like. He was still able to impact the game, and then the guys off the bench, solid. Marcus has had a great preseason. And just his ability to be a connector, as I like to call it, be an ultimate glue guy. He's kind of like, you know, I've been teasing him, he doesn't like it because he's not a Warriors fan, but he's kind of like our Draymond Green, just with the different things he can do. So I was excited for him to play well too.
Did you script rotations a little bit, or just kind of just read and react to what the situation?
Today was a read and react. I had a script, but then 1-3-1 in the zone, so you got to be able to adapt on the fly. And some guys probably didn't play as much as I wanted them to, especially being Solly and Timo. But just the way the game was going, and in that middle part of the second half, I thought that first group was playing really well, and I didn't want to kind of mess up the rhythm we had gotten.
Coach, how do you think your team fared against the zone, and what adjustments did you make on the fly to adjust and combat against it?
It fared pretty well. You know, we have prepared, of course, against the 2-3 because that's the zone that they show. So we did 2-3 and they came out in the 1-3-1. So we kind of ran our man offense against it. And then at halftime, we showed them exactly what they need to be looking for. And then they came out in the second half and they executed it perfectly.
And then defensively, just what did you like about your team's performance tonight, and what are some of the things that you'd like to clean up?
I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were great defensively. With where we've been, you know, the ball got in the paint too much. I thought our ball screen coverage today really struggled. But the one thing I am excited about is the guys just continued to battle. And they played the whole 40 minutes and they figured it out on the fly. And it's going to be games like that. And especially for this to be the first game against Jacksonville and moving forward, you know, with looking forward to Thursday. You know, I just saw the score on my phone. So they must be pretty good. You know, I know some of the names on the team, but I haven't got to watch them yet. I wanted to focus on this one, but got to turn the page quick.
Jay, I want to ask you about 37 trips to the line, just what it means to get to the free throw line that much. How big a part of is your game, and also what it meant to you to see Jim Larinaga there?
You know, this emphasis one on the free throws is a huge part of what we do. It's one of the things we measure. We always want to make more than they attempt. And through 3 scrimmages, we've been able to do that. And for us, with our size and our physicality, where we built, we got to get to the free throw line. We got to capitalize, and we made them today. We're almost shooting 80% from the line. If we can do that every night, we'll be right in the mix. And for Coach L and his wife to be here is huge. You know, huge. Like I've always said, and I'll say it because it is true. But this is the program that he built, and all the success you look up in the banners come from him. So just he's welcomed me with open arms ever since I got here, and to see him at the first game, him and his wife was just a blessing to me.
This
Have you got time for a couple more?
This Jacksonville team's obviously going to win. They can win a bunch of games.
Yeah.
You saw the Bethune score. I didn't want to scare you by asking until you revealed that you had seen it. Is it, I mean, without seeing the Bethune tape yet, obviously, is it a reminder that the margin right now is just so thin? Like, you just don't know who anybody on any given night.
You're right. You don't know who anybody is. And I think a lot of people right now, you don't know who your team is, because everybody has so many new players. You know, and tonight you can practice and you can do stuff, but you really don't know until you go through these first couple of games who you are, what you can do. You can have an idea of what you think it's going to look like, but you know, I think everybody right now is still trying to figure out their team, because everybody has so much new. There's only a few teams that have, you know, great retention. But with Bethune, you know, a big part of it is like they have high major transfers. You know what I mean? Like a kid, Artorio Morris. I recruited him when I was at Texas. He's a McDonald's All-American, I believe. You know, he got in some trouble, and that's how he ended up with Bethune. But they have, I mean, he's an NBA talent. So that game of playing, he's like the same caliber player that we have and that Auburn has. So it doesn't shock me. And then you have a guy who averaged 20 last year. I want to get his name right, Mr. Bradley, I think it's. So, you know, it's the day of the portal. You know, those guys usually wouldn't be there, but they are there. So we got to adjust and be ready to compete.
You've previously said that size, positionally, and defense and rebounding is what you're trying to accomplish here in your first year at the U. After seeing your team play tonight, how satisfied are you in that aspect of things?
I'm enjoying the win. I'm not satisfied because one, we didn't play to the level of the standard, but two, also it wasn't who we have been.
Yeah.
And I have to realize that part of that is because it's the first game. Guys are pumped up, overly excited. But you know, we always want to keep teams to under 70 points. We did that. Usually want to have 6 or less made threes. They came out and bombed 4 right away, so we lost that battle. And then the field goal percentage is right around, what they shoot, 46 for the game. We want to have that around 40. So, you know, it gives me a lot to talk about. You know, from our standard, I would say we're probably like a D defensively, from where we've been and how we played. So we just got to get better and move forward.
Thank you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congrats, Coach.
Good,